Good day, leaders. Good day, Ma'am April May Pakibar. I am Dexter Badol from BSed English 1 Set B na nagsasabing, let's smile upang ang problema ay mawala at ang buhay ay bumuti. So, this is the group presentation of the second reporters. Our topic was all about chapter 4 of the book, which is the values development. So, I will be the one who will report the Filipino values. Mr. Balneg will do the fundamental components of STET. Mr. Cordero and Ms. Molina will report the Philippines core values, and Ms. Sato will do her task. So, let's begin. The Filipino value system. So I have here an interactive activity. Guess the word through the jumbled letters. Number 1. Are the people who are the citizens of the Philippines? It is Filipino. The second one. It is a principle or quality intrinsically valuable or desirable. It is values. The third one, set of principles or procedures according to which something is done, an organized framework or method. It is system. Learning objectives. At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to, number 1, identify the Filipino value system. Number 2, acknowledge the Filipino values that still existing one of these days. Number 3, organize the concept of Filipino values. So, Filipino values system refers to the set of values or the value system that a majority of Filipino people have historically held important in their lives. So, the Filipino value system, ito yung mga values na ating, that a majority of Filipino is, pina-follow na or nasusundan na. Then our ancestors hoping that our values will nagagayahin ng mga susunod na mga henerasyon, so that napapasa yung mga Filipino values, kaya nga nagkakaroon siya ng sistema. So, number 1, ideologies. So, yung ideologies na meron tayo is yung from political, social, epistemological, and ethical. So, moral codes. So, moral codes, ito yung mga racist behavior ng isang tao na maaring ma-apply niya sa isang group of people. For example, ito yung number 1 yung sa ma-apply mo sa sarili mo. For example is loving yourself or love yourself. Then for the group of people naman is think before you act, and so on and so forth. So ethical practices. So ito yung mga ethical values na maaring ma-apply natin through the organization. So for example, nito is yung obeying the rules of the company or obeying the rules of the government or the organization. Another example is yung trust and mutual respect na ating ma-apply din sa isang organization. So let's proceed to the etiquette. So etiquette, it serves as the guiding principles or discipline goals of the people's action. So, for example, nito is yung kapag may nagawa na mabuti yung kapwa natin, so we say thank you. Kapag may nagawa tayo mali sa ating kapwa, so we say sorry. Then we give genuine complaints or compliments to the other person kung meron man sila nagawang mabuti or masamang mabuti. Then, let's proceed to the cultural and personal values. So, the cultural and personal values is yung dati pa na mga kultura natin at mga kagawian na ating na-apply or dati na na-apply ng ating mga ninuno, then na-apply natin siya mapasa hanggang ngayon. So, it affects our personal and cultural values. So, let's proceed to the next slide. As a general description, the distinct value system of Filipinos is rooted primarily in personal alliance system, especially those based in. So, yung mga values natin is nakaugat siya based in, number 1, kinship. So, it is the blood relationship. Then, pwede din siya sa marriage. Excuse me. So, kinship, it is blood relationship nga, sabi ko kanina. So, from descendants down to grandsons, pwede din siya sa marriage. So, mother to daughter, or mother to son, father to son or father to daughter is na-influensyahan yung values natin, kung paano tayo pinalaki or kung ano yung mga values na nakasanayan ng ating mga magulang, ng ating mga ninuno is na-apply natin ng mga new generation mapasa hanggang ngayon. So that is kinship. Number 2, obligation. So as a student, so obligado tayo na mag-aral na mabuti. So yan yung values na tinuturo sa atin ng ating magulang, which is mag-aral na mabuti, makapagtapos, at magtanaw ng utang na loob sa ating mga magulang, sa ating mga sa kanilang mga paghihirap o pagsasakripisyo. Then, as a student, we are obliged talaga, or so we are committed to do it so. Hindi na nag-aaral lang tayo because of the privilege. So, na privilege na na-abuse natin. Kumbaga, we are obliged to study because of the UNIFAS. So, hindi dapat yun. So, we are obliged, kahit walang UNIFAS, kung gusto natin makapag-aral na mabuti is magagawa natin. So, that is obligation. The third one is friendship. Friendship. So, yung friendship is na-influensyan din yung values natin, no? So, yung friendship is through our peers, through our community, and so on. So, talagang na-influensyan yung values natin, yung kaugalian na meron tayo. So, religion. So, ang religion is na-applyan yung ating values. Kumbaga yung religion is na-influensyan yung values natin through kung paano tayo maging mabuti sa ating kapwa, through believing our God, and we are being rational na gawin yung mga bagay na sa tingin natin ay tama at sa tingin natin ay mali. So, the fifth one is commercial relationship. So, commercial relationship, from the word commercial, ito yung tawag sa trade and business relationship na nagkaroon ng interaction between another race, from race to race. Like for example is kapag ikaw ay isang businessman, so be it from your locality, national and internationally, talagang makabuo ka na relationship through the other race or through sa ibang bansa na mga people. So, na-influensyahan din yung ating values. And let's go to the next slide. So, Filipino values for the most part maintain social harmony, motivated primarily by the desire to be accepted within a group. The main sanction against diverging from these values are the concept of fear or a sense of shame and amor proprio or self-esteem. So, maintain social harmony. So, ito yung mapasanggang ngayon is dala-dala pa natin. Katulad lamang ng nagpapakita tayo ng kung gaano natin mini-maintain yung kaugalian na nagkakaintindihan tayo, nagkakaunawan tayo sa isang community or sa ating sosyedad. For example, is yung it shows the unity, no? Yung still existing pa rin siya na kagawian na ginagawa ng mga Pilipino, yung pagbubuhat ng bahay, then ililipat siya sa isang lokasyon na gusto na may-ari ng bahay. Then it shows the unity na they believe na kapag sama-sama ang lahat, so ang lahat ng mga gawain ay makakaya or madaling trabahuin. So that is maintaining a social harmony. So motivated primarily by the desire to be accepted within a group. So we are motivated na gusto natin na makilahok or gusto natin na maging tanggap tayo sa isang party or isang grupo na gusto natin salihan. So here, the main sanction against diverging from these values are the concept of hiya or sense of shame and amor proprio or self-esteem. So dito, kapag hindi, kung gusto nating maging accepted tayo within a group or in a group, which is number 1, concept of hiya. So nahihiya tayo, no, nahihiya tayo na makilahok because of baka sabihin nila patayhuya ka, then you are KSP or papansin ka, then nag-overthink ka na baka ganon yung kanilang gagawin sa'yo or kanilang pananaw na part against you. So that is concept of hiya. So nagkaroon ng hiya, it is because of trying yourself to be accepted in a group nga na hindi ka na baka ganun nga yung sasapitin mo kapag gusto mo maging makilahok sa isang grupo. And the second one is amor proprio or self-esteem, which is sa sobrang hiya mo is gusto mong i-embrace yon para or masali ka doon sa group na gusto mo. So kumbaga susuungin mo lahat because gusto mo na maki-join or gusto mo na doon ka tingin mo ay sasaya na grupo. So that is amor proprio or self-esteem. Kumbaga ini-embrace mo yung hiya mo because sa gusto mo na makisali sa kanilang grupo. So Filipino values for the most part, social approval, acceptance by a group, and belonging to a group are major concerns. Caring about the others will think, say, or do are strong influences on social behavior among Filipinos. Excuse. So ito yung mga values. So ito yung mga, I think, ito yung major na talaga na ginagawa ng mga Pilipino or mga pananaw na isang mamayang Pilipino. Like, so tatingin natin is mali, no? The social approval, acceptance by a group, and belonging to a group are major concerns. So we must educate ourselves. So isa sa mga rason kung bakit we care what other will think, say, or do is because we feel inadequate. So we must look ourselves into a bigger picture. So kumbaga i-embrace natin kung ano meron tayo or meron tayong kakayahan na maaari nating best asset na ipapakita natin sa iba. So we must look into a bigger picture of us, then surround ourselves to the positive place, to the positive persons na parang sa tingin natin is we are confident. Then we must surround ourselves to the place or to the positive energy. So let's embrace natin yung mga authentic self natin. Then kaya nga hindi tayo umuunlad, hindi umuunlad yung ating self. It is because the opinions of the others will holding our back para maging productive or maging successful, diba? So ito yung mali ng mga Pilipino na hindi na dapat pinapractice yung caring about others will think, say, or do are strong influences. Social approval, acceptance by group, and major concerns. So ito yung mga mali. So ito yung mga mali na mga Pilipino na mapasa hanggang ngayon is ginagawa pa rin. So yes, so that is the Filipino values for the most part. So, according to Leonardo Mercado, the Filipino worldview is basically non-dualistic, basing on linguistics analysis of Filipino value terms like loob, Cebuano, buot. He concludes that Filipino desire harmony not only in interpersonal relationship but also with the nature and religion while still remaining non-dichotomous. So the Filipino wants to harmonize the object and the subject while at the same time holding both as distinct. So, dito, pinapahiwatig niya na yung mga Filipino is wanting to desire the harmony o yung pagkakaisa. Then, hindi lang sa ating relationship through the family, through the commercial, through our friends, and so forth. And gusto din natin na meron din pagkakaisa through the nature and religion, and while still remaining non-dichotomous. So, as with any society, the values of an individual na meron tayo dito sa Pilipinas is hold sacred siya, but differ, kumbaga nakakaiba pa rin mapasa hanggang ngayon when it comes to the basis of religion, upbringing, and other factors. So that is yun yung gustong ipahiwatig ni Leonardo Mercado as VD. So he is a Catholic priest, if I am correct. So ito yung pinapakiwatig ni Leonardo Mercado na gusto natin ng harmony, but we are still holding the differences na through our society. So that is yung pinapahiwatig ni Leonardo Mercado. So that is the end of my reporting, Ma'am. Mr. Balneg will continue the part of the fundamental composition of state paradigm. And once again, I am Dexter Badol from BSN English 1 Set B na nagsasabing, let your smile change the world, but don't let the world change your smile. And thank you.
Philippines core value. So, Philippine core value is defined by the way of people live their life as an influence of one's culture. The Philippines, being an archipelago, has not become hydrants toward having a single value system throughout the country. The values of Filipinos have been looked upon by the foreigners as a weakness instead of strength due to the nature of how they may be abused and manipulated due to these values. So first is the family. The Philippines is known to be family-centered nation. The Filipinos recognize their family as an important social structure that one must be taken care of. People get the strength from their family, that a children may have several good parents to ensure his future in case his parent will not be there for him. So, example sa family is we Filipino known to be family-centered people. Nagbibigay ito ng malaking impact sa atin, gaya ng pag marami tayong problema, stress tayo about family issues, financial aspect, and even personal issues. Yung iba sa atin ay hindi nakaka-focus sa kanilang trabaho. Yung iba naman ay kinokonsidera yung family as their inspiration and motivation para magawa ng maayos ang kanilang trabaho. So, next is politeness. Filipinos are taught to become respectful individual. This is mainly due to the influence of Christianity that tell us to honor both our parents and our elders. The use of po and opo when in conversation with an elder or someone who is older is a manifestation of Filipinos respect their elders. So, politeness, tayong mga Pilipino ay kilala sa pagiging marespetong tao. Pero sa panahon ngayon natin, ay ibang-iba kung ikukumpara sa panahon ng mga mama at papa natin or lolo natin. Bakit? Kasi yung mga ibang kabataan ngayon ay naiimpluwensyahan ng mga bagay na nakikita sa social media. Parang hindi mo na naririnig yung po at opo kasi ginagaya na nila yung mga pohobs na napapanood nila sa social media. Halimbawa, uutusan sila ng parents nila, sasabihin nila na dali lang bala, ulat lang, karon lang ah. So, we future educator must be practice this kind of culture we have, which is being polite citizens. Then next is hospitality. The Filipinos are very hospitable when it comes to their fellow men. They invite their visitor to come into their homes, offer them treats such as snack and drinks after a long journey. So, hospitality example is may bisita kayo bahay. Kahit wala na kayong makain, mapipilitan kang mangutang tindahan para may mapakain sa mga bisita mo, o kahit biskwit o juice lang. May iba pang kakatay ng manok para makaulam ang bisita. That attitude really show how hospitable Filipinos are. Another example, kapag may festa, kahit hindi ka invited, welcome ka pa rin sumali sa kanilang celebration. Then, next is gratitude. Gratitude or utang na loob is very popular Filipino characteristic. One does not forget the good deeds that other may have done to him or her, especially at times of great needs. So, gratitude, ito yung katangian na very popular sa mga Pilipino. Halimbawa na lang is yung utang na loob mo sa pamilya mo, o pinagsisikapan mo magkaroon ng mataas na grades para matuwa sila. Pinupursu mong makatapos ka, regain their sacrifice, and mabigyan ka ng magandang kinabukasan. Next is shame. Shame or hiya is a very common Filipino value. This is said that Filipino would go to great length in order to not be ashamed. Hiya is great influence on one's behavior. For one will do everything, even it is beyond his means, just to save his reputation as well as the family. So, yeah.
Filipino values are flexibility, adaptability, and creativity. Filipino sense of joy and humor is evident in their optimistic approach to life and its trivials. So, Filipinos are very funny and they are flexible. From the word flexible, it means they are able to adjust in any situations. The ability to laugh at themselves, and their predicament is an important copying mechanism that contributes to emotional balance and a capacity to survive. So, tawanan mo ang iyong problema. That is one of the good thought that Filipino has. Tawanan mo ang iyong problema. They are not easily depressed, and they are making fun with their problems instead. Next, we have loyalty. They say in other country, our OFWs has a loyalty to serve with their boss and to a friend, and because they are good in term pakisama. Yes, that is loyalty or pakisama in another Filipino value. Filipinos are said to be loyal to their friend and fellow men in order to ensure peace in the group. So, since we have loyalty, we are good in pakikisama. Filipinos are good with this because they are having hospitality. and good attributes, which is gaining more friends. Hardworking and industry. The related capacity for hardworking and industry among Filipino widely recognized. Yes, I do agree with this. Filipino are known to be hardworking. Yes, don't you know that in American country, Filipinos are very admired by AFAMs, Charles, by Americans because of their hardworking um, attitude or hardworking attribute. Filipinos are more universally as excellent workers who perform well whether the job involves physical labor and tasks or highly sophisticated technical functions. So, yes, Filipinos are very hardworking. Resignation, trust in God, or in concept of bahala na, has been overused time again. Example, hala, quiz na ko ugma, pero kapoy man ko bahala na. That is what we called resignation. Or, katapulan, sometimes, sayang ang hardworking, no? But yes, it is one of the Filipino value also, which is having the concept of bahala na. Addition of resignation, for example, is this. Ay, meron akong quiz for today. Mamaya na lang. Mamaya na lang. Meron akong gagawing homework. Mamaya na lang. Until the due date, the due date is already there, and they will say, bahala na, because of their laziness to anything. Next, significance of studying Filipino values. So, what is the importance of studying Filipino values? So, as a Filipino, you must know what is your origin, what is your attitude, what is your characteristic. So, shaping of the Philippine society into successful and progressive nation would depend on understanding and appreciating the positive side of Filipino values. Yes, appreciating the positive side of Filipino values, which is being hospitable, loyal, hardworking, is the most important one, because this is the thing which is motivate, encourage the Filipino to succeed, and they may apply it to attain such goals. Student transformation and enrichment for truth. Okay, this refers to the inculcation of virtues and providing opportunities to concretely express comment to the common goods. STET calls for empowerment dynamism of a leader, a manager, and an administrator with innovate ideas. So, with this, it refers to expressing, expressing, teaching virtues, which is providing opportunities and common goods. That's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, teacher. My report today about models of the Filipino values. The Filipino values has two models. First, the exogenous model or foreign model. The second, the indigenous model or traditional model. The exogenous model described to be legal and formal model. Legal, it means it is permitted. And formal, it is something that we have to follow the rules. The second is the indigenous model. The indigenous model is described as a traditional and non-formal model or guide, but is deeply embedded in the consciousness of the Filipinos. The foreign model was inherited by Filipinos from Western cultures, particularly from the Spaniards and Americans. An example of a foreign or exogenous influence is bureaucracy exhibited in the government of the Filipino. Next, the elements and composition. Based on studies, surveys, opinions, and anecdotes, and other literatures made by experts and researchers in relation to the Filipino social values, or Filipino core values, along with the Filipino character or the Filipino identity of a person or an individual known as Filipino. The Filipino value system are found to possess inherent key elements. Among of them are the first, the optimism about the future. Optimism means it is hopefulness and confidence about the future or a successful outcome or something. Next is the pessimism with regards to present situation and events. The pessimism, it is a tendency to see the worst aspect or think or believe the worst will happen or lack of hope or confidence in the future. And they are opposite to the optimism. Next is concern and care for the other people. It is a feeling of worriness or worry, care about a person. And the example of this, I am worried to my friend because she is sick. Next, existence of friendship or friendliness. Friendship is our different. It is a bonding of selves, souls, minds, and character, or becomes the foundation for the true or everlasting friendship. Friendliness, it is uh, yung sa Tagalog na palakiibigan. Yung mahilig siyang makikipagkaibigan or madali lang siyang kaibiganin. 5. The habit of being hospitable. It means that a person or a place who is welcoming, friendly, and accommodating to the guest. And proudly speaking, we Filipino, we are very hospitable. That's one of the moral values of the Filipino or the character of the Filipino people are being hospitable. As what I observe, as what I have observed, many foreigner who like Filipino because Filipinos are very hospitable. Next is the religious nature. On the basis of human reason and experience, religion is universal. We as Catholic religion, it is universal. Religion is validated. For example, a person who is devoted in their faith, we call it religious or religious in nature. A person who is pious and devoted and faithful in their faith. And we can sense or we can feel a person who is religious if me or we are religious too. Apart from miraculous and supernatural, if we or we are religious too. Next is respectfulness others. We Filipino, we are used of being respectful. It is a courteous regard for people's feeling. We respect their privacy or good manners. Respect for the female members of society. Being a woman, we need to be respect. And in terms of this, a woman has an attitude or character of being compassionate, vulnerable towards those we love. Because at first, women who are the primary caretaker of children and elders. The next is fear of God, means that we give him a complete and reverence, honor, as he is the God of glory. We honor his majesty, his purity, and power. Next is the abhorrence of acts of cheating and thievery. It is a feeling of hate and disgust, or it is an extreme feeling. Next, we go to the core values. The core values of Filipinos specifically upholds the following items. The solidarity of family unity, security of the Philippine economy, orientation to small groups, personalism, the concept of loob or kalooban, meaning what's inside the self, the inner self, or the actual personal feeling of the self. Existence and maintenance of smooth interpersonal relationship, sensing of feelings or needs of others known as pakikiramdam. In a larger picture, these values are grouped into a general cluster or microclusters, namely the relationship cluster, the social cluster, the livelihood cluster, the inwardness cluster, and the last, the optimism cluster. Thank you po.